It's difficult for any of us to imagine having to place your child's life in the hands of doctors at CHEO. Our next family, though, has, if you can believe this, 2 children who are being treated at CHEO. Their youngest was just 11 months old when they began the struggle to save her life. It was an exhausting fight that actually saw her mother move into her hospital room for 100 days. Well, little Phoebe's story is not over. Her struggle continues. The enemy within her is powerful, but then so too is Phoebe.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. This one says family, love. This one, beauty, promise, innocence. But another word pushed into their picture-perfect world.
Within 45 minutes, the head of emergency came in. So we have bad news. Your daughter has leukemia.
Phoebe was 11 months old, barely into this world and now fighting to stay. Life took a deadly turn. What her parents thought was a cold was cancer.
Phoebe has a very rare type of cancer. It is called infant acute lymphoblastic leukemia. And to show you how rare it is, approximately 6 children per year are diagnosed with infant ALL in Canada.
Where does this go?
The Hatt family sadly already knew about life's challenges. Their 5-year-old son, William, has autism.
We have a son, a 5-year-old boy as well, who's also a beneficiary of CHEO's sort of great hospital services. So he's in therapy every day.
One child with autism, another with leukemia. Could there be any more to deal with? Sadly, yes. Phoebe's rare leukemia is highly aggressive.
It's extremely hard to fight infant leukemia. In children, childhood ALL, we have survival rates approaching 80% overall. In infant ALL, it's closer to 50%. That means within 2 years, 50% of the children will either have died of a consequence of their therapy, like infection, or will have their leukemia come back.
For Phoebe, the news is worse still.
Okay, 1 second, real quick.
She is genetically predisposed to the disease. That means simply her odds of surviving are lower.
I spent the first, let's say, 3-4 months, I would say feeling sorry for myself, but thinking, why is this happening? If she's taken from us, I don't think I can go on. I had this real problem dealing with it. But if in, let's say, 4 years, I have to give her eulogy, what am I going to say? Am I going to say, why did this happen, and this terrible thing, and I can't go on, and I can't live? Or am I going to say, the last 4 years have been the best 4 years of my life, and I've gotten to share and know this beautiful little girl, and I've learned so much, and I've grown and become such a better person because of it.
They have fought so hard to save her. Lisa lived at CHEO for 6 months as Phoebe's immune system was too frail. She couldn't leave the safety of the hospital.
We were here 161 days till we got discharged.
She almost died more than once because of a severe complication, a fungus that would put her life in danger. To fight for her life on another front, the chemotherapy needed to be suspended. It happened at a time when there was no time to waste.
You say, up, Daddy?
You can go see Daddy.
We needed her white blood count to come up to fight the infection, along with the antifungal and the antibacterial medication. But at the same time, if you're giving chemo, the white blood cells are going to drop, and then will the fungal infection take over her body? So it's been an absolute delicate balancing act.
The fungal infection was so bad that her entire bottom blackened with the fungus. It needed extensive surgery to cut it out. Only when it was under control could she resume chemo.
She's had more drugs than most people ever have in a lifetime. Morphine, Demerol, all kinds of antibiotics.
Phoebe is put out during the lumbar puncture. A sample of her bone marrow is taken to check on her leukemia, and chemo is injected directly into her spine.
Although you're living through complete and utter hell, I'd rather live through this than even think about what could happen.
I know you hate this, but we got to do it.
The challenge now is to help Phoebe gain weight. The treatment has made her so weak. She is so tiny that a weight gain of ounces is a victory.
You know, throughout all that, you could not kill her spirit. You know, she could barely lift her arms and stuff, but she had the biggest smile on her face. And she just loved to hug her mommy and hold her daddy.
Phoebe is here with us. Her immune system is so fragile today that we're keeping our distance from her, and no hugs and kisses today. Lisa, what's her situation? She's back at CHEO?
She's been in and out of CHEO since we last saw you. She was back in for more secondary infections. With a compromised immune system, she had ulcers and ulcerations through her bowels and down her tract. And with all of that, it's been very difficult to keep weight on her and food in her. So we've been in there for weight issues, really. But her chemo they've just continued on with her chemo.
That has sort of been the story of Phoebe. It's not necessarily the cancer, it's the secondary issues that really affect her and that she really has to battle, right? I mean, it's trying to keep the chemo going, but fighting all these other issues at the same time.
It's because the protocol that she's on is so aggressive. I think to date we worked out that she's had over 275 doses of chemotherapy. And with continually suppressing her immune system, she is constantly in danger of getting an infection.
One of the things that I really appreciated about where the two of you were, and Bruce, I think you articulated this very well, is that you live for now and that this is a far better life than the thought of life without Phoebe. And is that where you still are since we saw each other?
Absolutely. When we saw each other last, you know, I guess as normal parents, you know, you sort of look to the future of your kids, you know, a couple of weeks, a couple of months, a couple of years down the road. When we saw you last, we were looking a couple of minutes, a couple of hours. Thankfully, since then, you know, we've got a much longer time horizon. You know, we're really, it's a lot easier for us to be parents and just have fun with our kids.
And enjoy her.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for helping. William, you were fabulous. Oh, he's looking at himself. Okay,
Phoebe?
and we're going to Lee.
Now, we know some of you may have been sitting on your hands looking for an opportunity to donate. Well, Belle is giving you another one. Cheryl Burwash joins me now. How much is Belle going to sponsor the Miracle Match for? This joins me now.
Turn over this record-setting check and have a look at what Nortel has done for us. Go ahead. $619,696.31.
Certainly an amazing year for Tour Nortel, for all the participants in it, all of the corporate support that we had, and all of the events that have contributed here today, Caroline.
It's been amazing, Max, you know, and as a parent who's got healthy children who's used the hospital, I want to thank everybody for supporting this hospital, because I think we've told you time and time again over the course of the telethon, you never know when you need CHEO. And believe me, we have got the best professionals who are looking after our kids. They just don't look after, they care and they love.
This community has never been so passionate as it has been on this past weekend. And tonight we see it reflected in your contribution to your children's hospital and children's health care in this region. Thank you so much for what you have done today. Just take a look, and would you feel proud tonight that you have spoken with eloquence about the priority you give to your children's health and to this hospital